And thanks, guys, for listening to this. This is Brian Waller, 1/3 of Spoiler Kings, coming with another review. I'm doing a solo review. Once again, it's going to be a Picard season 3. This is going to be episodes 6 through 9. I did 1 through 5 previously, and I just felt like I need to do 6 through 9 before we get to number 10, which is basically the series finale. They've done a wonderful job with this season. They understood the assignment. I feel like the other previous seasons they're trying to do these new storylines, and what we all really wanted was just the next generation, and we want to understand who these people are now and how they're growing and developing and becoming new people, and let's revisit them and just get some of that familiarity with it, with them again. And basically that's what we've gotten. Episode 6 might be the best of the bunch. The bounty. Basically, there's two different storylines, but the whole storyline is about getting the band back together. We have Worf, Riker, and Rafi. They're going to Daystream Station, trying to figure out what this thing that they're actually trying to steal. The changelings that are trying to steal. While they're doing that, basically, well, they get there and they end up seeing Professor Moriarty. So if you know the Next Generation, you know who he is. This sentient program that totally knows what's going on. It's probably one of the best villains, I guess you call him a villain. Really beat most of the guys. I mean, he was really beating Data at his own game. He's a great addition to this episode. It made it feel so much like Next Generation without having Data. How are they going to beat this thing? Of course, Riker figures out his music, gets through, and they get into the room and sees Data is the thing that everyone was trying to steal. So Data, along with Picard's body. We don't know right now why it was Picard's body, but they know that they're trying to use his body. His frontal lobe was the main thing that they needed from him. So they took Data and Picard's body. While that was happening, we had all that stuff going on. We also had everything going on with the Titan trying to get back and forth. They had to get out of there. They had to leave Riker and Worf and Rafi there. They had to get out of there. Picard came up with an idea. He sent everyone. He went to this museum. We're like, okay, we see all these old ships. What's going on? I guess the Fleet Museum, and that's actually being ran by Geordi LaForge. We've been waiting to see LaForge this entire time. LeVar Burton is not just one of the greatest actors, directors. For me, he's the reading rainbow. He's my introduction to reading. He's my introduction to learning about comic books. I mean, everything with LeVar Burton. So seeing him excited me to no end. So I can't even explain to you how much I enjoyed seeing it. But he's changed. Geordi, when he was with the Next Generation, was very young. He's willing to do pretty much anything. He's ready to jump off and do anything. He's now a father of 2 girls. Trust me, I totally understand that. Being a father of 2 girls, so you are overprotective. You're trying to do whatever you can for your children, right? So he's become this overprotective thing. He doesn't want to rock the boat too much. He has 2 families. He has his girls and he has his Next Generation family. So, Picard's there asking him to do some things, and Jordan's like, I can't do anything like that. I can't put my children in harm's way. I'm already upset with my daughter for being on the Titan, the USS Titan there. He didn't want her being in those type of situations. Was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Basically, they had to convince him to come along. He didn't really want to, but he ended up getting there. So he's there. They have to get back to pick up Riker and try to pick up Riker and Worf. They're unable to pick up everybody. Riker actually stays behind. He gets stuck. They get everyone else off the Daystream Station. Riker stays behind. Deanna Troi is actually there. She's kidnapped, and that's how you blackmailed Riker and getting their hands on everything. It was so very good. It was a very entertaining episode. It was full of they did a good job merging the big story along with giving us all the small side characters that we needed for the Next Generation and getting the band back together. It was exactly what we needed. The thing about Data having the multiple personalities within him was a great job too, because it wasn't like Brent Spinner was going back to being Data again, because he said he didn't want to just go to that one character, being typecasted into that one character. He was more than that. He was lore. He also had some of his father in there, and all that was fighting. So this was a very good episode. Then we jumped to episode 7, the bounty. Really, this is Vatic in the Changelings, last stand. They're trying to fight. They are kicking uh, their asses, really. This episode, basically, now the U.S. Titan is running away from Vatic, and they decide, again, another bad decision for Picard, to allow Vatic and her goons to come and jump on the Titan, and now they're there and they think they trapped her. So they trapped everybody. They think they have them all behind these sports fields, and they're trying to interrogate Vatic, and Vatic is basically telling them, "You think you've trapped me? Only thing you've done is now allow me onto the ship, and I'm going to take over." And she has she's very frightening. She's very creepy, eerie. She knows more about Jack, and she really just tells us, like, look, you guys don't know what you're dealing with. I love the way that this new character has really become one of the best villains that we've had. We know how it's going to kind of come back in Frontier Day. We know that she has a lot of information with it, but they're not really focusing on that as much. But we also see something else here. We see Jack start to use his mind control. He's able to use mind control and use it, tell someone else, speak in their head, tell them what to do, and even take over for them. So that tells me little hints about what he's doing, because he's able to speak and talk to everyone. So my first vibe was is he going to be something that like Wesley? Is he going to be able to be something that special? Are we going to revisit that line? I didn't know where we are going to go with that. I thought this episode was kind of a little bit underwhelming, but it was what it was. It needed to get there. It's trying to get us to the point where we're going to have all parties there. We'll know who the villain is, and we already know what the end result is. Frontier Day. We need to get there. All right. So now we get to episode 8. That one was a surrender. Right now, Riker is with Deanna Troi. They're admitting to each other about their feelings, that he's running away. That was essential for it. So really, we haven't had Marine assert this. I mean, in any episode until then. It's really good to have Deanna Troi, because she has her powers, and she's able to almost read people's minds and understand their feelings, and which is, we know we're going to need that with Jack eventually. So that was really cool that we finally got her. Her Betazoid gifts are important. So basically, we finally get back, get there. Riker and Deanna finally have the conversation they really needed to have about their son, and we kind of find out what was happening. Riker wasn't having a hard time dealing with the emotion, and Deanna used her powers on him to help him move on. And he felt like he couldn't trust her anymore, because, as you know, when you lose someone, you need to go through that grieving period in your own way, and no one could tell you how to do that. And finally, at the episode, he let go, and she let go, and they kind of forgave each other. And of course, they get rescued. That's great. So they're now on the ship, and now we have to focus on the main part of this episode, which is the battle between Data and Lore. So inside of Data, inside of the body that Data is now, he's a human body, but with all the positronic things inside of him, there's Data on the left side and Lore on the right. And they're afraid if they take down the partition between them, that Lore is going to destroy Data. And Picard decides, hey, we need to take down the partition, or we're going to, not be able to get off this ship. They take down the partition, and just like predicted, Lore starts to destroy Data. And Data does not fight Lore in any way. He actually willingly gives part of himself to Lore and keeps on giving his memories and things that are the most important things to him to Lore. And Lore almost takes over everything and everything turns red. And then all of a sudden, Data disappears. Then all of a sudden he comes back. And then he starts to multiply, multiply, multiply. And Lore's like, what's going on? Data says, see, you're right, Lore. These memories are me. So me giving you those memories and you holding them in like a trophy, you actually, because we are the same, become me because you now have my memories. You don't have any for your of these things for yourself. So the difference between you and me are these memories. So now I'm going to win. And basically Data takes over all Lore. Data takes over the body. He is now himself, except now he's in human form. I thought that was an excellent way to do it. Data basically surrendered himself to let Lore win. And by doing that, he ends up winning. So with Data, they're able to basically defeat Vatic, destroy her ship. They get the band back together, and everyone is happy. That's what we kind of got. Okay, but we still have the main problem, Jack, and what's going on in his mind. And that's kind of when we get to episode 9. We finally get that scene where everyone sits at the table together. What we've been waiting for a long time, between 8 and 9. Everyone's sitting there like they always did in Next Generation, all parts sitting there, and they're talking about what the next plan is. And Deanna says, it's probably time for me to meet your son. And that's kind of where we go for the next episode. When Deanna's meeting Jack, she's trying to help Jack with his memories. She gets in there in his mind, and she said, I will be with you. I will walk through. We need to figure out what's behind that red door. So finally we get to the door. Jack is having problems with it. Deanna says, would you like me to go ahead and open the door for you? She goes, opens the door, and sees what's going on behind the door. We don't see it. And then it cuts away. And she wakes up. She goes off. She runs off. And she doesn't tell Jack anything. She runs right to Picard and tells what's going on. And they say, so what's happening? What happened? What did you see? And see the Borg. The Borg are the things that are really behind everything. They're the ones that enhance the changelings. They're the ones that had Picard's code, DNA code, basically connected to everything. So they've actually everyone who used the transporter but had the DNA code implanted into them. And that's dangerous now. So now Picard unknowingly passed it on to Jack, and then unknowingly gave it to every person that used the transporter. We find out later in the episode that the mind has to be before 25, because later a foreign mind, they no longer can access that mind and take over that body. So all the old people basically are fine. The young people are the ones that are going to be taken over, and that's exactly what we get. Picard tries to hold Jack back. Tells him, we need to study this more. We need to figure out exactly what's going on. I need you to go. We're gonna take you to this college, this place, this institute, so I don't have to worry about you right now. So we keep you away from this day. And of course, Jack doesn't listen. Jack does his thing, takes over someone's mind, the guard's mind, and goes off. And he's going to go find the Borg Queen, because she's the one that's been calling out to him. So of course, Jack finds her. Goes there, and he's like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you. Obviously, I'm going to kill you," and that doesn't happen. Jack actually gets assimilated into her. So she gets plugged into him, and now, of course, Jack is now able to. He's basically the voice. He's the one talking to everybody. He tells everyone, all these the young ones, turn on. They have these black marks like they're being infected with something, and they are on, and they are taking over fleet that's all there for the celebration. So the entire fleet that they have basically in formation has now been taken over, And now the Borg basically has everyone assimilated. They have now assimilated everything. So we thought that they killed off the Borg, and now everyone is assimilated. And that's kind of where they leave us. We have questions about Jack. Is he going to be able to fight the Borg Queen, or is she just totally have everything together, has it all in his mind, control of his mind, or what do we do now? Well, the end of the episode basically is Geordi realizes that they can't use the Titan because the Titan's been taken over. Then they will, along with the entire fleet. Where do they go? So Geordi says, "I have an idea." He takes them back to the Fleet Museum, and what does he have? He says, "I've been trying to keep this secret for everybody, but I have the Enterprise D. Obviously, can't do the Enterprise E because Worf kind of destroyed that one. But the Enterprise D. So we get there and we get all the nostalgia. We see everything from the original Next Generation episodes. All that stuff is there. Everyone sits in their seats. Picard is now captain again, Captain Picard. Of course, he goes, Riker's now number one. Everyone sits in their seat. Geordi and Data are up there ready to guide the ship, and they're ready to go. They're going to war with an analog ship, with analog old people against the entire fleet. And that's where we are for episode 10, which is going to be the series finale. They've done such a good job with this show. I love the nostalgia. As I said, they understood the assignment. It's not about giving us all these new stories. It's about giving us one new story, but giving us all of our old characters, and we get to feel all of them. I love seeing Patrick Stewart there. LeVar Burton has been great. Michael Dorn as Worf looks so much better, just sophisticated. Jonathan Frakes has done a great job. Gates McFadden. Sometimes I thought she was annoying, but as a mother, you understood why she was being annoying. But she has done an amazing job. I'm glad we brought her back. Of course, Marina Sirtis is always great. Brent Spiner is always great. Jen Ryan has been great in this. Michelle Hurd, I don't want to forget about her. But everyone has done such a phenomenal job. I cannot wait to see what happens in this last episode. I'm going to do one more review just of the season finale. It's not just a season finale, it's a series finale. It's really the next generation or last generation, or however you want to say it. It's finale. It wraps up everything perfectly, and I cannot wait to see it. It's gonna be Thursday. Hopefully, I get this video done and drop it by Tuesday, and we got a couple of days before we see the end of the next generation. Thank you guys for listening. I'm Brian, the Grizzly, part of the Spoiler Kings. We're on our way to 1,000 subscribers. So please, if you're watching the video, you're not subscribed, please hit the like button, subscribe to us. We're going to do a lot of giveaways. I have something really great for you guys. We're going to have 3 big prizes for the giveaway. Can't wait to see you guys there. We'll talk about this, probably release a video sometime next week to tell you what we're going to do, and we'll go from there. I thank everybody for watching. Thank you. Thank you. If you like the content, please like the video. And we go on live Mondays and Thursdays. So please hit your bell notification and join us. You guys are always part of our streams. I thank you guys again, and I am out.